Maybe you've experienced delays in getting your child assessed. Maybe your voice has been ignored even when all you were doing was sharing your child's lived experience. Perhaps your child has been harmed, emotionally or physically, because their needs weren't acknowledged or understood, leading to distress, regression or shutdown. Or the support of your child's school has fallen so far below expectation, you've stopped expecting anything at all. The experience of process issues, lack of empathy and poor practice erodes trust. Trust between us parents and the very process that is there to support our children. So in this video, I'll explain 9 common themes that explain how trust breaks down. The trust between us as parents and SEN professionals, and the often harmful consequences that prevent collaboration moving forward. And then later in the video, I'll explain one powerful shift that can help reduce risk, protect our voice, and help ensure that our children are truly seen, supported, and respected. My name is Brenda and I'm a parent mentor and a fellow parent. I support parents raising children with individual needs and differences to stay empowered whilst they navigate through procedural challenges. I know firsthand what it feels like when you've lost that feeling of trust, and it's not because we're being demanding as a parent, it's because we're being dismissed. As we've been engaging in the process, but it feels that we're still disconnected. We're searching for answers, but still we're left in the dark. Meanwhile, our children are left to deal with the consequences. So what happens when parents lose faith in the SEN process? When trust is lost, the impact can be profound. Communication breaks down, follow-through disappears, and our child's needs go unmet. And as we advocate, many of us get unfairly labelled as emotional, pushy or difficult, while the burden of proof sits firmly on our shoulders. It's exhausting. And the cost? Well, that's emotional burnout, missed opportunities for our children, and our children are left at a disadvantage, waiting for the problems to fix themselves. So why is it so hard to build trust with the process? So here are 9 common yet painful reasons why it breaks down. And the first one is where the critical safety or the support failures are ignored or minimised. The trust between parents and the professional can break down when a child's safety is compromised. And when no one takes responsibility, the trust can be irreparable. Because children with additional needs are recognised as a vulnerable group, often requiring tailored support due to communication challenges, sensory sensitivities, or greater reliance on an adult for regulation and safety. And when parents leave their children at school, there is a fundamental expectation that staff will protect and support them according to those needs. Whether it's absconding or sensory overwhelm or dysregulation, our children often rely on adults to stay safe. And when those needs are ignored, the consequences can be devastating. Or the impact of emotional neglect that can cause trauma and deep betrayal. And another reason is delayed and incomplete assessments undermine support. As a parent, it's heartbreaking to feel that your child has been left behind, especially when important decisions are being made without fully understanding your child's needs. When assessments are delayed or incomplete, it not only affects the quality of support, but can also put a child's emotional, physical and mental well-being at risk. And in situations where safeguarding fails, the consequences can include emotional distress, regression or trauma. And we as parents are left feeling not just unheard, but deeply betrayed by the very process that we're told we can trust. Another reason is when parents are dismissed or blamed when advocating. When we advocate for our children, we hope that we are partners in support and not as a source of friction. Instead, many find ourselves dismissed, blamed or labelled as unreasonable or difficult simply for voicing concerns. Attempts to highlight a child's needs may be ignored, and genuine observations of distress or dysregulation are framed as bad behaviour or played down entirely. And such experiences erode trust and confidence in the process that is meant to work collaboratively with us as family. Another reason is that at times the process prioritises convenience over the child. In my experience, it's been very hard to trust professionals who appear to be more focused on the status quo rather than on meeting a child's unique needs. I've observed professionals follow policies rather than their expertise, which has left me on many occasions asking, whose outcomes are we working towards here? Another reason is a lack of transparency and obstructive communication. These are unanswered emails, vague responses, misrepresented concerns. And when communication is inconsistent or obstructive, we as parents are left out of the loop and out of the process. And without open, honest communication, trust doesn't stand a chance. Another reason is when support becomes conditional or politicised. When support comes with strings attached, it stops feeling like support. I've experienced being pressured into decisions out of the fear of not being seen to comply, even when those decisions I felt weren't right for my child. And this is where it turns expectations into negotiation, where we become the outsiders in our child's care, and where it turns support into something that needs to be earned rather than something that your child requires. And another reason is the lack of personalisation and detail in an EHCP. From first-hand experience, I found that when an EHCP is vague or generic, it doesn't reflect the real child. It becomes a tick box exercise rather than a meaningful, legally binded plan. And as a parent, this made it hard to trust the process or believe that the documents truly reflected my child's needs. And another reason is it creates confusion for inclusion. Advocacy can become overwhelming, confusing and relentless. And as responsibilities get passed around, delays stack up and eventually we burn out, engaging in the process feels unsupportive, making it difficult to see whether meaningful change is even possible. And this is where I recognise it's no wonder that most of us feel that the only option to move forward is to pay privately. And another reason is where professionals fail to see the child as an individual. When professionals focus on data, diagnosis or behaviour instead of the whole child, everything becomes depersonalised. And as we as parents know our children best, when our insight is dismissed, misunderstood or excluded, it becomes obvious that a child's true needs are often lost in the noise, making it difficult, if not impossible, to maintain the trust in those involved in the duty of care for our children. So what can reduce the impact of that breakdown? The answer begins with early involvement and parental empowerment. Not just being present, but being informed, empowered from the very beginning. When we're in this state of being, we're then able to spot the red flags early, seek the best action to take, speak with clarity and confidence, and are less likely to be silenced and sidelined. As empowerment leads to early action, and early action protects trust, secures support, and prevents long-term harm. Because trust doesn't break overnight, it erodes slowly and painfully through repeated experiences of being ignored, dismissed, and let down. And when trust is gone, it's not just the relationship that is broken, it's your child's safety net. Because if you're a parent that's been silenced or sidelined, it helps to remember that you're not overreacting, you're advocating. And you definitely don't have to do this alone. And if you feel like working with a mentor may be beneficial for you as you navigate through the SEN process, why not contact me? My information is in the description box below. So if this video resonated with you, why not check out this video here? But for now, keep doing what you're doing, stay focused, stay empowered, and keep creating progress. Thank you for listening.